This is
A cup of conversation.
yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your girl AC,
And I'm Alex.
and welcome to a cup of conversation with two people who love to talk, bring you honest conversation about real topics and issues. Each episode, we will pull a topic from the cup and talk about it. I mean, yeah. So, along with any other current event or topics or issues that we deem necessary, or even that you deem necessary, let us know and we'll talk about it. So, let's get into it.
Ooh, so tell us what's today's
So
topic?
today's topic is the power of positive thinking. We're gonna focus on shifting that paradigm. Yeah, that is our goal for today.
So do you remember when you were writing, like what made you put that in the cup?
So, oh my gosh, we write so many topics at once and put them all in the cup, but sometimes I don't remember what I was supposed to talk about. But positive thinking, I think it's just important that people really hone in on the power of positive thinking. Like there is really power in our minds and in our thought, and we don't really use the powers that we just naturally have, you know. And positive thinking could really just shift your whole world, like do a whole 360, you know, bring some stuff that you don't even expect. So I think that's what I was going for with that topic.
Oh, well, first I just want to say that 360 would bring you in a circle. You don't want to go back to where you started.
180. 180.
Okay,
Well, 180.
we all knew what you meant. It's fine. I'm sure we all knew what you meant. But what you said was true. And something that popped in my head was that, how you said actually do it. You know what I mean? Like to actually
like put into action.
Right, the power of positive thinking. And there are times where I think a lot of us don't realize that we are giving our power, even in our minds, to someone else or to society or to the media or to our family and friends, you know?
Right.
And instead of us controlling our minds, we're kind of on autopilot and we just, whatever is, you know, and a lot of us, and just sometimes our society is set up in a way that it's very negative, like, and we don't realize it, but that's our natural state or our basic state, and that's where we're running from. And I think that's not good.
So like all that negative is like laying the foundation for us. Like that's like kind of like children. That's our example. That's what we see. So then that's what we see for our lives and ourselves, and that's what that's the way we expect things to be like that.
Yeah. In summation, and to that, people, like, I'm learning because I am not a WAP. Wait. Wait a minute. I have a WAP. I'm supposed to have a WAP. Wait, what? Gonna delete this. But
I'm learning
because I am a work in progress, so we're gonna go with whip, not WAP in this situation. But
okay, so you're a whipper, not a whopper.
I am a whopper, but in the working in progress, I'm a whip.
Okay, so you're a whip.
Right.
No name.
So I'm a whip, right? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I'm learning that, you know how you work out. Say you want to tone your arms, your abs, your legs. You're going to go maybe lift some weights. Mm-hmm. But for you to actually see progress and definition, you're going to have to lift those weights quite frequently or on a regular basis until you see that progress. And with our minds, we have to treat them like those same muscles because our brain is a muscle. Right. And to work it, like you go to the gym. So in life, you have to say, okay, I'm going to work this muscle today. How am I going to implement positive thinking today? What areas am I going to make sure that I try my best to stay in the positive and work that? You're not going to always be able to be successful on the first, second, third, fourth, 15th try, but you make progress,
Right.
And then you just stop?
No, go ahead.
Instead, you say, okay, even in that area I messed up, I'm gonna go again. Because sometimes when you work out, you may fall off the wagon.
So yeah, you have to be like committed to the change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be present at all times. Be aware of what's happening. Be aware of your thoughts. It was that quote. I read it. I remember in the first time in college. I read it. It was like, watch your thoughts, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your. I don't know if I had the right order. Watch your actions, they become. No, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your
reputation or your behavior.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like something like that. Like, yeah, you have to be really like consciously aware of, what you're putting out for yourself and what you're taking in. I guess that ties into um, with one way of, I think, of making sure that you're more aware of what would be helpful is making sure that you have good energy and good vibes around you. I feel like that's very important because, like you were saying earlier, the world already give us so much negativity, and it is important that you surround yourself by positive people, positive thinking, good vibes, and like sometimes you might have to, and with that comes you might have to cut some communication with some people. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to like choose yourself. Is what I'm learning. That you really have to choose yourself and deem yourself like important enough, and yeah, and go for that and do what you got to do to get that positive energy and those good vibes around you. That's definitely necessary with positive thinking.
Yeah, and like to like how you were saying about get that energy. I mean, sometimes you got to check your surroundings. Who's there? What kind of information are you listening to? What kind of
What you
music are
letting
you
in?
listening
Oh
to?
yeah, that's
What kind
important.
of friends or even people are you communicating with? Your family. And it can be hard because sometimes these are people that you actually really care about.
Right.
But if it's detrimental to you, to your mental health, to your physical well being, man, sometimes you just got to create new boundaries. It's not to say you got to just throw them away, but also like maybe don't interact in the same way. Maybe
Right.
it's,
Or
hey,
as much.
let me just send you a text, check on you, not give you that much access to me. And I think in practice, when you learn to navigate that and say, all right, what is making me, building me up? What is giving deposit to my emotional and mental bank? What is actually increasing and not decreasing me mentally? Let's focus more on that thing. And then I think those things all come together to help you produce a positive mindset too.
I definitely agree with that. All that. Yep. You got to choose yourself first. Another thing I was thinking that would be good for making sure that you're in that positive space is having a growth mindset, because we can be pretty harsh on ourselves. Like we are our own worst critics. Ain't that how they say it? Sorry, isn't that how they say it? Like we can be our own worst critics. Like you really have to choose that growth mindset as well, and know that like, hey, everything's not going to be perfect, and like forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. That's what you know. Forgive yourself.
Please forgive yourself for whatever it is. Like, you're a person, you're human. Like, don't carry that weight around with you. Forgive yourself. You have to choose to forgive yourself. But when you forgive yourself, you also have to choose better for yourself. So once you make yourself aware of, areas that you need growth in or whatever, you can forgive yourself and then move forward with that, like, and not just not being really so hard on yourself. And that too ties into like the words, like how you say things, or the things that you say. Like verbiage actually does play a big part in positive thinking and growth mindset. You don't want to talk about the things that you can't do. Put yourself in a positive light. Talk about things that you can do, or that you will do, or that you have done. Go ahead and put that on your life. Put that on your life, and just call it done, like you did it.
Right.
And then I feel like you'll be more in tune and more lined up. Your energies will be lined up with that, and that's just going to pull you towards where you want to be. So yeah, I think that's important too.
I wanted to just add because that was really good, but also like when you were talking about the being critical. When you were talking about, and then that goes back to watching your words, right?
Right.
Because sometimes the words that you hear or the critiques that you hear in your mind are not even your words.
Yeah.
They're somebody else's. Like you hearing an adult that you had in your life, critique you, and they maybe not even have said those words to you, but you just felt like they would have. And then, or even society, you may say, look in the mirror and say, oh, like me, I might be like, oh, my boobs are too small. Like, because the society I live in is like, oh, you need to have bigger boobs. But like, is that even really how I feel? Like, am I satisfied with my boobs? Do they hurt my back? No. Do they do they sit where I need them to? Yes. Like, so I don't care. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that it's important to analyze, ask yourself, check yourself, say, this thought pops into your mind. Wait, pause. Is that really how I feel? Is that really what I think? And if I don't, then what do I think? And then give yourself more of that.
Right.
And there was a thing like that I think I've been learning to be, when you were saying to stop being so critical of yourself, but also forgiving of yourself. Be nice to yourself, man. Like, be a friend to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, encourage yourself. Speak those things into your own life. Like, and I mean, you know, religion and all of that, but like, I grew up with the understanding of being Christian. And so the Bible says to you, speak those things which are not as if they were, right? So like, you may not be somewhere right now, but you have power in your words. And if you can really get it into yourself and almost trick yourself, like almost psych yourself out to believe, like kind of like in a supernatural way that like, yeah, I mean, right now it don't look like nothing, but watch this. I'm about to be this. I'm going to be this. I have this. This is what I have. These are my qualities. These are my possessions. This is mine.
Manifestation. Yes, manifestation. It works. It's true. I've done it several times in my own life. I am here to say I've tried the program and it works. And it works. It does. Manifestation is real, man. It works. I've tried it in my life. Like, so then my goal now is to try to make that a consistent thing, like constantly believing in that, because I've seen the evidence of it. And like you said, like what the Bible said, you know, you have to speak things as if they are. Like, if you're going to choose to believe that that's for you, then that's what you have to do. So yeah, manifestation for sure. I like it.
Right. And two, like, my biggest challenge though, like really is the, like, putting it in action. Because you can know and know and know, but then sometimes you,
and it sounds so simple,
hit
but
that like wall. And it's like your own resistance sometimes. And it feels like, what am I gonna do? But really, it's like, if you want to say to yourself, I have this, now I gotta move as if I have that. If I want to say to myself, I have healthy relationships, if I want to say to myself, I build, honest connections with people, I can't move forward and then be refraining or, what's that word? Like, putting boundaries and blockages around myself and saying, well, I'm only really going to be like this much myself, and really just allow myself to be open only to this amount. And then that's it. Because then that doesn't create what you just said. Right. And so then you're going to be frustrated, and then you're going to say, oh, see, I knew it, but really you created that.
Yeah, so lining up your own actions with your own words.
Right.
You worry about yourself.
You worry about yourself.
Yeah, you worry about yourself. Yeah, lining that up.
Yep.
I agree. I like it, man. I like it. Also, I just want to shout out a few recommendation of some good reads that have to do with positive thinking. I know you're reading a book now, but I forget the name of it. What is it called?
The book that I'm reading now?
Yeah, the book that you're reading now.
The book that I'm reading now is called The Big Leap.
The Big Leap.
Yes.
Okay.
And what is that? By Gay Hendricks.
And what was the synopsis of that book?
The premise is that, like, it's the same word, I promise. It's the exact same thing. They mean the same thing. But the premise is just that, like, we all have an upper limit problem, right? And that problem is often what stops us from getting to what we actually want. And especially, like you were saying, that we live in a world that is often inundating us with very negative imagery, audio, anything to our senses, food, right? Like, our society is very high in that negative area, and oftentimes negativity is what sells, quote unquote, or gets the most attraction or attention. Because I even like said to myself, like, no, I'm going to try my hardest to scour the internet for good news, right? Because there's so much negativity. And sometimes it really saddens me when I see, like, just people existing, living, and I can be on the internet, on Instagram even, and people just, the first 7 comments is just something negative.
Yeah.
And like, then there's people co-signing that, and it's just like, we don't even see how easily we float on that wavelength.
Yeah, we jump right on it, right on the boat.
Oh,
don't even know what
y'all passing by. Is that negativity? USS 7 for sure. Let me hop
on that. But like, why we can't do the same thing with positivity?
But when you see the positivity, people will comment and what have you, but then it's not as much attention.
The energy is not the same.
Yeah,
you don't get the same amount of energy.
Yeah. And so, what was I saying?
You're talking about the big leap.
Oh, the big leap. Yeah, the premise
was pretty much
the upper limit problem, and like how we sometimes don't realize that there's this limit that we place on ourselves when it comes to even feeling a certain amount of love, happiness, or even success. And yeah, I mean, it's so far it's been slapping me in the face.
That's cool. That limit, I can see that. Like, I mean, if we only have a limit, then how far can we really go? You know, so I can see that.
Shout out to the Love Hour podcast.
Oh, for sure. Another book that I read that I deemed worthy of the power of positive thinking. I even think that's in the title of it somewhere. It's The Power of Now. The Power of Now. Yeah, it's great. It's really good if you're trying to like get your mindset and get yourself like in that zone of thinking positive. It talks a lot about like living in the now, the present, like what's happening now. And it's really great with showing you ways that your mind can move in positive ways, and also how your mind hinders you in ways. So that's a good read. And also The Alchemist. I know that was a good one.
Yeah. I
think I have like that last 10 pages to read on that still. But yeah. Any other books?
There's another book I read called You're a Badass.
Oh yeah.
And it too, like, I mean, I don't think that there's any limit on the amount of information you can allow that can help yourself, because a lot of these books, they might say or touch on similar topics, but you just never know. And they may permeate your brain and your mind and your soul in a different way. You just never know. There's no limit. I don't think you can say, oh, I read that book.
You can read it again.
Right. You read this book. You can read it again. You can read another book that's similar. You can read another book that's completely different. But oops, still the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's coming at you a different way. Or maybe the same way. I don't know. Yeah.
I just think that we as people, it's really important that we start to take back the reins for ourselves. So many of us are really participating in doing things that aren't really us, but we've just fallen like into, I don't even want to call it like sheep mentality, but just going along, just following along. Yeah. Just, like we said, is that negativity USS 7? Let me
I'm coming.
Guys, I'm waving my flag. Do you see me? Guys, I'm over here. Please come pick me up. Like, no. Like, who do you want to be? What do you want? What do you want?
Like, really, really ask yourself that question and think about it.
And we can, listen, we can really sit down and say, those things are impossible for me. No. But like, I've watched people with small expectations get magnificent results. Okay? I've seen even myself come into something with a small expectation and my mind be blown. So I just think that, we have one life that we know about. And if we only have that one life, then why live it small? Like, what's that man's name? I'm educated.
Oh, my man. My man, I see him in my head. Why can't I
Les
think Les
Brown.
Brown? Yeah, Les Brown.
Les
That's my man.
Brown be talking.
He
Okay?
be putting the words out there, bro. He be
He
putting the
puts
words.
fire under
And
you.
I'm telling you, you can just grab them out of the air. Those words, they so strong. They're so strong. You just grab them right out of the air. Yeah, Les Brown. Oh, speaking of recommendations, check out Les Brown. YouTube him. Watch his. What are they called?
Like speeches.
Yeah, watch his speeches. He go around and do what are the
Like
speeches
conventions,
called?
like motivational speeches.
Motivation. That's the word I'm looking for. Like motivational speeches. Like he's great. Like energy. I mean, listen to that stuff in the morning. Listen to it before you go to bed. Listen to it at any point in the day.
Set your mind.
Put it in. Put it in your mind. Like you said, there's never too much. Like I think I'm gonna read The Power Now again. Another book I'm reading really quick is Lovey's book. Shout out to Lovey. I'm judging you. I think it's a good book to remind us that we're all people, bro. Like we are all people, and she is so silly. So I think that's a good read to kind of bring us back down, and that we are all people, but also in those areas that those things that make us all people, we can acknowledge those things and do better. So yeah.
Yeah. I just want to end with in the realm of practicing self-love and nourishing yourself. Sometimes some of us didn't get that, and we don't know what that really looks like, but we know what maybe we desired. So just be kind to yourself and really say to yourself, okay, I didn't get this way in one day, and I'm not gonna just revolutionize everything about myself in one day, but baby steps. Because some of us, even me, I get frustrated with myself if I say, "Oh, I'm going to stop doing this," or I want to do this," and then tomorrow I don't do it. Then it's like, "Oh, look what you did!" But then I have to remind myself, like, "Hey, we're unlearning. We are unlearning. All of us that are inside of me, we are all unlearning." And
then we have to learn again.
Those little steps. Somebody told me. She said to me, like, the little steps still make progress.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be one. Sometimes you can just take a huge leap, right? But in most things, it's the little things. So just being consistent, just being committed, just waking up and being determined. Those are the small steps. And then the next time, okay, this is my determination. I'm setting my intention. Then I'm going to be determined, and then I'm going to commit to it, and I'm going to stay committed to it. Like how Les Brown says, stay committed to your commitment.
Yeah, you got to commit to your commitments.
That's it. And like the baby steps, and then before you know it, the universe will respond to you and say, "Hey, I see that you're doing this. Let me aid you in this way. Let me add these people to come and aid you, or let me add this opportunity to aid you." And before you know it, you've made progress. And so just be nice to yourself and remember that baby steps still make progress.
Hey, every bit counts. Okay, every bit counts.
Like the sand through the hourglass, right? It's like little bits of sand. Like they're tiny. They're little. But like one by itself is small. But then like when they all come together, those little pieces show you a whole bunch of time has passed. You know what I mean? Like,
so over time it gets bigger.
Yeah. So yeah. That's all.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. Okay, thank you guys for listening today. We appreciate it. Tune in next week for another episode of Couple Conversations, and you can drop your comments in the box below.
If anything resonates,
anything you want,
if anything you want to share, any books you want to recommend to us, drop it in the comments. We really want to know. We're trying to build, a community that we can all learn and grow for real. And what's that? Sow into each other.
So drop your ideas and we'll put you in the cup and maybe we'll pull your conversation next week. Deuces.
Bye.
Kick rocks.
Mm-mm.
But like good rocks though.